surprise in Arizona. Hope you're having a super fantastic sparkling day. Welcome to Before the Dirt Nap podcast number 2090. We're getting up there in numbers. Today's podcast is all about rooted in values, what guides me day to day. This is, they say that before your legacy becomes a story, it starts as a decision. How do you make that decision? What guides you to make a decision? It's your values. And I must say too, this is day 2090, which means in 101 days, we're going to be celebrating 6 years of continual Facebook Lives. We're going to be celebrating 2,191 days of consecutive consecutive daily lives. Yeah. That's how it works out. We're going to have Casey's going to be back for his annual visit with us. We've got some really cool and exciting things that we're working on right now. And we're going to slowly start changing them over. And the podcast will have a new name. What is it going to be? I don't know. We're working on it. But just know that there's some new stuff that's coming down the pipeline. So we're super, super excited about that. And look forward to seeing you online in 2,191 days. In 101 days as we celebrate 6 years of continual daily lives. What's going to happen for year 7? You'll have to tune in 101 days to find out. So back to today, rooted in values, what guides me day to day. So before we have a legacy, before a legacy becomes a story, it starts as a decision. What does it mean to live from your values? It's not about being perfect. Absolutely not about being perfect. Some people try to be perfect. It ain't gonna happen. Nobody is perfect. We're perfectly, what is it? What's that song from the lyric? Perfectly imperfect. That is what we are. We are perfectly imperfect, which means that everybody has faults. Nobody can do anything perfectly. Some things you can do perfectly, but you can never be 100% perfect all of the time. Mistakes are going to happen. Choices might be the wrong decisions to make, but then again, you might make a lot of the right decisions as well. So it's not about being perfect. It's about being consistent with what matters to you. Values are the why behind your choices. You may have inherited some, chosen others, or you might be in the middle of rewriting a few. For example, I used to think loyalty meant saying yes to everything. Now I realize it means standing by what I believe, even if it means saying no. When it comes to friends, having your friends who are loyal to you or being loyal to a friend, it is helping that person to grow to who they want to be. It is not always agreeing with them. It is sometimes you've got to stand back and go, no, that is against your values. Why are you doing that? Just to give them that little bit of reminder, a true friend is somebody who will be there when their friend is in trouble and will help them through as best they can, but will also be that little voice on the shoulder for them as well. Where do our values come from? Family traditions and beliefs. They get handed down through generations. Some of them are ingrained in our DNA. Life experiences, mentors, and even trauma. Yeah. The bad stuff. Cultural or spiritual influences may be part of our values, and it's that quiet voice that says to you, "This matters." My little quiet voice is right here at the base of my skull, right on the back here on the right hand side, not the left hand, just right here. My little voice. That's where my voice comes from. Like growing up, we never left dishes in the sink. I thought it was all about tidiness, but it was actually about respect. Now, as I wipe down the counter, I feel like I'm honoring my parents and my grandparents because they all taught us you don't leave dirty dishes on the sink. It's been passed down through generations. And sometimes I look at and I am pretty meticulous in my kitchen as far as cleaning it goes. I once did, and I have to tell when I was at the Northern Virginia Community College, going after my associate degree in hospitality management, hotel management, and restaurant management, one of the required classes across all three associate degrees was 101 food safety and sanitation. I will tell you this. I was pretty good in the kitchen at that point as far as cycling the food through the, hang on, I've got a frog in my throat. As far as, first in, first out, cycling the food through the kitchen, keeping the kitchen pretty clean and everything else. After doing that class, I became a lot more particular about my kitchen. My kitchen is like the cleanest room in the house. Bathroom is second, even though I hate cleaning bathrooms. But kitchen is the first cleanest in the house. I actually clean as I cook or clean as I bake. So as I end up with dirty dishes, I'm honoring the tidiness that I have been brought up with about not leaving dirty dishes in the sink. There are days, especially weekends, when I will slip and I'll just put the dishes in the sink. And then I have to spend about 30 minutes afterwards at the end of the weekend cleaning them all up. Or if there's enough of them, throwing them in the dishwasher. Usually I hand wash everything and only use the dishwasher if I get too many dishes. Where did I get that from? Oh yeah, so yeah, the kitchen is the cleanest room in my house. It's dealing with food that people are going to ingest. You got to make sure it's healthy for them. What are my core values right now? So that's that was where they come from. So what are your core values right now? They may not be what you say out loud, but what you actually live. What do you prioritize when things get tough? What frustrates you deeply, often points to a value. What lights you up and makes you feel aligned. When someone doesn't keep their word, I am annoyed. It totally bums me out. It turns out integrity is one of my top values, and I didn't even know it until, but when I was thinking about this topic for tonight, I was sort of like, it really bugs me. Like this thing here. I've got a few apps on there that I am trying to sell stuff on before I head to New Zealand. There is a lot of stuff I've got to get rid of. So I've got a cell power, which is all my electronic stuff, all my electrical stuff that I can't take to New Zealand with me because of the power difference. And some of the stuff doesn't do 110 to 220, which I need it to do. And, in those cases, it's just attaching a plug. But then it's also, is it worth paying for that stuff to be shipped to New Zealand as well, even if it does do the 110 to the 220. But what is really bugging me, and it annoys the crap out of me, and I'm sorry for using that word, but it annoys the crap out of me, is when people contact me and say, hey, is this still available? And I go, yes, it is. Or they say, hey, would you take this for that particular item? And I go, absolutely. Or I might go back with a counter offer. And sometimes it's just sort of like, yeah, that sounds reasonable. So yes, we'll take that. When would you like to come by and pick it up? And they're like, well, where are you located? And I'm like, okay, first of all, on all the listings, it has that I'm in Surprise, Arizona. So they obviously don't look at that, because a lot of the time someone turns and says, oh, you're further than I thought you were. The listing said it was in Surprise. So people are not paying attention to that. Or they turn around and go, oh yeah, we're really interested in it. Will you take this for it? And I'm like, absolutely, that's fine. When would you like to come pick it up? So they set up a time and everything else and then never show up. Or when you ask them when would they like to come and pick it up and pay for it, they ghost you. I'm like, seriously? You get me into the sales mode and everything else. You want to know if it's available. I tell you it's available. We negotiate a price. I ask you when you want to come pick it up and you ghost me. Or you arrange a time and never show up. Those are people who are not of integrity. Or those that just waste your time just going, is this available? And like you get people coming in with stupid offers. Like I have a high-end speaker system that I'm selling. It's 5 pieces. It's got the 2 tall ones. It's got the 2 back speakers. It's got the center speaker. There's a really cool subwoofer. That subwoofer alone is worth about $600. So I had the whole thing priced out. And if you want to buy it separately, here's the individual pricing. If you want to buy it as a group, here's the discounted price. And it was over $1,000 for the speaker system, because it's a really good speaker system. And the first thing I do when I'm pricing stuff is I go online and I have a look and see what are other people advertising this for, and I work it out so it comes in under their pricing for other ones online. I want to be the lowest price and basically just get rid of the stuff. And some guy comes in and he's sort of like, I've got it listed at $1,200. He goes, will you take $400 for it? I went, no. I said, I'll take $1,000 for it. No. Well, and I said, but we have got it broken down. I said, is there one particular piece that you want? Do you want the 2 front speakers, the 2 back speakers, the center speaker? Because I want the woofer. I said, well, those things currently retail at $800. I'll give it to you. And this is practically brand new. So, so the negotiation thing. And then he comes back like 3 days later and offers me I'll give you $3.50 for it. So he keeps going down from his thing of, and I'm like, no, don't even waste my time. These things just really annoy. Can you tell I get annoyed with something? Other things that totally annoy me is, we're just talking about it on the AI class I'm doing, is those that, like, I work on a help chat. We are a person who sits there from, we're open with real people answering the help chat so that people can type in their questions. We're typing back answers and all that. And we're there for a certain period of time during the day. The system that we use that does all of this stuff, I would never recommend to anybody simply because their help chat sucks. And it really annoys me. And I have had an issue with them for over a year that I've been going in every now and again and saying, hey, we still have this issue. What's going on? Why is it not being fixed? I said, come on. And then they asked me the exact same questions they've been asking me everything. And I turn around and go, look, go back and have a look at the chats on this, because I said, you need to, I'm not going to repeat myself. I said, we have this problem. It's ongoing. It keeps coming up. You ask me for this, you ask me for that. I give you all the information. And then you turn around and say, we're working on it. It has been over a year. So, and then they keep sending me surveys all the time. They go, would you recommend? I go, no. And they go, why not? I said, because you don't solve problems when they can't, you're not solving problems. It's taken over a year and I still don't have a solution. Now they've turned around and says, well, we need you now to record the screen. I'm like, oh my God. And they want me to actually video the screen. And I'm just so like, why wasn't I asked this a year ago? Yeah. And then they're blaming my computer. I go, well, there's actually 3 of us and we live in 3 different parts of North America. And we're all on different systems and we all have our own networks. I shoot down everything because it is a consistent problem with all 3 of us. And we're all got different computers. We've all got different extensions. Oh, they tried to blame extensions one time too. Yet funnily enough, they want us to use an extension to record our screens. But anyway, I'm getting sidetracked because that just annoys me. And it's that like, oh, we're going to be taking care of this. Yet it's been over a year. They still haven't fixed the issue and we still have it. So things like that just irritate me. And you've got to go through, and just to get to a person, you have to spend 5 to 10 minutes answering all these stupid questions that the AI thing comes up with, even after you type in person. It says, well, before we pass you on to a person, we need to know, and then it fires off a whole rapid thing of questions. I'm like, I just want a person. And then when you finally get through, they say, oh, somebody will contact you within 24 to 48 hours. What happens if the system is down? Anyway, if you have an urgent problem. So it's just things like that. If you're going to be if you're going to be on the help chat for a company, make sure you're there for your clients. They're the ones that keep your system going because they're using your system. So make sure you're there for them, not passing it off to some AI thing to solve the problems and everything else. If somebody wants to talk to a person and and the thing is, I've already typed in what the issue is. And then it says, oh, well, before you need to type in what the issue is, I already have. Oh no, you'll need to retype it. Sorry, getting off my horse on that. Getting totally sidetracked. All right. So, yes, working with integrity. So what's the difference between, what am I talking about? What do you do what do you prioritize when things get tough? When things get tough, it depends on what the tough situation is as to how I prioritize it. But I look at, like, if, let's see, for example, if it's getting tight towards, the rent's due and it's getting tight, it's sort of like, what can I not do? What can I do without? Or can I pay a little later in order to make sure that the rent is paid on time? Things like that. Zephy always gets priority when it comes to, okay, I need to get Zephy dog food and I need to get food for myself. Well, I have food in the freezer that I can use and I've got eggs. I'm good. Let's get Zephy her dog food. There have been it has gotten that tight at times, but it's what are my priorities? What frustrates you deeply? We're not going there again. We've already been there. What lights you up and makes you feel aligned? It is when somebody turns around and says, thank you. When you get to help somebody and they say, thank you, you solve their problem and they say, thank you. That is what lights me up and makes when I'm in creative mode and I create something really, which I think is really awesome. It's just something that lights me up. Like I was, this weekend, I was creating some AI art for Easter because some people celebrate Easter, some people don't. So I was texting messages to some people who I know celebrate Easter and sending in this really cool AI art that I had created. And it was pretty cool. I liked it. And that made me light up because I was sending joy and happiness out to the world. Like, I love posting things on social media that will make people laugh. I did a whole 12-month campaign where I was sending out cards. I had a random list of people, and every month they got a card for me. And on the front it said, "Have you laughed today?" And when you opened up the card, do I have any of them around? I don't think I have any of them handy right now. When you opened up the card, and of course, when you open up a greeting card, hang on, one moment, please. I've got a greeting card in here. I know I have. Oh, yeah. So, for example, when you open up the greeting card, on this piece here of the card would be a picture designed to make people laugh. And there may be a little saying underneath. Then across the top here, it was say, "Have a super fantastic sparkling day." And then on the back, I had something crazy on the back of that as well. So it was designed to make people laugh. And I had 12 months worth of these things. I remember it was like June, the June one, I think it was. The June one was a sloth who had a Christmas hat on, and he was getting ready to start heading towards the family. What did I put on there? Something about he had a Christmas hat on, and he was heading off. No, it might have been the July one. Yeah, he was heading out to, he was starting his journey to his family's place for Christmas. If you know what sloths are, you'll get the meaning of that one. So it's making people happy. It's helping solve problems for them. It's helping serve them. That's what gives me joy. It makes me feel aligned. The difference between aspirational and actual. Aspirational, what we want to value. Actual, what our life shows we value. And the goal, to close the gap with compassion, not guilt. Like I say, value rest. But if I looked at my calendar, you'd think I'd be worshiping my to-do list. I put everything in my calendar. Everything goes into my calendar. If I've got stuff I have to do that day, it gets scheduled into my calendar or it's not going to get done. When my clients give me projects to do, it's, when do you want this done by? Every client gets asked, when do you want this done by? And they have to give me a date. Otherwise it gets set on the back burner. I learned that one many years ago when I was working for Marriott, and we did our Clifton strengths. If you've ever done the strengths, they are awesome. My first three are belief, positivity, and woo. And woo is win others over. Really good, upbeat type of thing to have. But as I was going through it with my boss, she goes, when I give you something we stood there one day and wrote out our strengths. And so we could sit there and talk, and like, when you give me this, if it doesn't have a by when date, like when do you want it done by, it's going to get put on the back burner and somebody else's job that gives me a date is going to get priority over that because you haven't given me an end date. And she's like, oh, because when I give it to you, I just expect it to be done. And I said, yeah. So after that, she started giving me dates that things were due by, and things just started ticking over and getting done in a much better time frame than what they were. But yes, I do value my rest. I try and take Sundays off. I try to stay offline on Sundays. If I have to sort through a few boxes at the moment, that's okay. But I don't like, on a Saturday, I would dive in there and like, let's get this done. We're going to get this whole row here. We're going to get that cleared away. Like on a Sunday, it's sort of like, oh, let's go clear a box or two. We're just on easy time on Sundays. Unless, of course, I have a weekend function that I'm working. So, there's those sorts of things. Plus, the Sunday goes to my beliefs that we should work 6 days and rest on the 7th. So why this matters for your legacy, energy, and joy. Your value shapes your decisions, relationships, boundaries, and habits. When you are aligned, life feels less chaotic. And I will tell you this, suddenly in the last, in fact, I will tell you when it started clicking into place. The day I put in my notice to vacate this house, everything just sort of like, it felt like a weight had been lifted off my shoulders. Everything kind of fell into place. And now things are just smoothly going along. And I don't feel like I'm pressured. I don't feel like I'm rushed, even though I know I only have this amount of time left in the house. But the pressure has been taken off me. It's just an awesome feeling. And things are just lining up. And when I was talking with Casey the other day about, with the direction that we're going in and what we're planning on doing on come August 1st or before August 1st, what we're going to transition to, I am super, super excited about that. That was Thursday's call. I'm still on a buzz from that because everything is starting to align. And like I said, I don't feel the pressure. I am in sync with with my plans right now. It is an incredible feeling. I go to bed at night. I get really tired really quickly as soon as I hit the bed. I can barely keep my eyes open to read 3 pages of my book. So the night books are taking a lot longer to read because within 3 pages I'm fighting to keep my eyes open. It's like I gotta go to sleep. And of course, Zeffie will come along most nights now. She's got into a routine where she won't wake me up in the middle of the night unless she wants to get back on the bed. But I've got a night light for her, and she's starting to learn that she can see with a little night light on. It's a blue light. So, but she's starting to learn to use what little light there is of that to get onto the bed. She jumps up onto a chair, and I've got an armchair right next to the bed. She steps onto the arm, steps onto the bed. So when you're out of sync, resentment and burnout creep in. So by being in sync, I'm living more in gratitude, more in love, more in things are going really well right now. Values are the invisible architect of your life, of the life you're building. They are. I'm in sync with my values. I'm in sync with my plans. I'm in sync with my life. Things are starting to flow to me. I'm getting opportunities coming my way. And it is amazing. And once I realized that creativity was one of my core values, I stopped apologizing for needing quiet time to write and started scheduling it. I really did. With Brad, he would tell you that's what I used to do. He'd go, "What are you doing now?" And I'm just like, "Oh, I'm just going to go write." He goes, "Okay." And he says, "What are you going to go write?" And I says, "I'm not sure yet. It's on my calendar. I'm going to go have my quiet time and write." He's like, "Okay." And he was fine with that. He knew when my quiet times were. He knew when my writing times were. It was in my calendar. So what are your top 3 core values right now? Think about it. What are your top 3 core values right now? This is one of the questions. There's 2 questions in the description below. And where do they show up in your life? And where do they need a little more space? When they need a little more space, that's when you need to get them into your calendar. Schedule the time in your calendar. Don't make apologies for it. If you want to be in alignment with your values and you want to, and they're showing up in your life, like if you've got creativity as one of your core values, then yeah, go schedule the time so you've got that time to be creative. And I would tell you this: declutter. So not just declutter physically, declutter mentally. Give yourself that time and space, where you can declutter by writing stuff down, journaling. There is power between the pen and the paper. There is actually scientific proof that shows that writing pen to paper, pencil to paper, is actually more effective than sitting at a computer and typing out your thoughts and things. Although I must say, brainstorming with ChatGPT is it's different, but I still have my pen and paper sitting next to me because this time I have to jot stuff down. And I will tell you this: if you're brainstorming with ChatGPT, it goes fast. Half the time I can't keep my fingers going. But it's okay. I'm in creative mode. And if I can't keep up with that, I'll just sit there and just write stuff out while ChatGPT does this thing. And then we're good to go. So take time out to assess what your values are. Put them into your calendar to make room for them in your life, especially if it's like creativity. It could be the fact that you want to get up and move. I am moving more now than I was before, and it is also making a difference. There is an app on my phone. It's called WeWard, WEWARD, and it's a walking app. So it counts your steps, and based on the number of steps as to how far around this little wheel you go. And I think it's like 15,000 steps a day or something. But at the moment, I've got to hit 5,600 steps a day in order to stay at the level that I'm at. And then when I qualify for that level, they then bump me up another level, and then they change that 56 to something else. Like yesterday, I was at 5,500 steps. I managed to get 5,500 steps for 3 days in a row, which is what you got to do. 3 times you got to hit that without it lapsing. Because if you go 4 days without hitting that mark, it will then downgrade your level. And I don't want to get downgraded on my levels. So, and Zeffie has watched me many nights I will be walking around the bedroom, like I've got the circuit around the bedroom that I go, and I'll be brushing my, I'll be brushing my teeth as I walk around the bedroom just to get my steps in until I hit that mark, and then I'll go back and I'll look at it and go, wow, I still got 50 to go. And so I'll like stomp around the room doing my 50 steps, and I'll actually do more. And then I go back and go, did it count all my steps? Yes, it did. Okay, we're good. And so last night I hit my 3 times of hitting that mark, and it's now put me up. I'm now on level 7, I think it is. So I've gone from 5,500 steps to 5,600 steps a day. How am I doing today? Oh, let's have a look and see. I don't know. And then there's times I get up from my desk and I realize I didn't take my phone. I'm sitting at 2,738 steps, and I've got to get to 56. And I've got 2,862 steps to get there. It tells me. So find an app like that that's going to, if you want to get moving more, find an app that helps you do that. Get up and get moving more. Maybe moving more is one of your values. You've got to, you want that exercise in there. Is it making a difference? Absolutely. It's all part of everything starting to fall into place, which is totally awesome. And I'm getting on track on things. So with that, I am out of here. Go out, have a super fantastic sparkling evening, and I'll see you guys back here tomorrow evening